Hi, I'm Alderwoman Sheila Finlayson, and welcome to our Annapolis. Today I have with me Ms. Tamala Bias, who is the coordinator and program chair for the Annapolis Arts, Sports, and Leadership Academy, and Mr. Leslie Stanton, who is the commissioner of the Wally H. Bates Basketball League. Welcome.
Thank you.
I understand you guys have this exciting program going on in our city, and so I thought you'd tell us a little bit about what the program is. The Annapolis Arts, Sports, and Leadership Academy. Exactly what is that?
Well, the Annapolis Arts, Sports, and Leadership Academy is a combination of programs. Central to it is this basketball program, a basketball league. It appears to be the hook that attracts the youngsters to our program. Now, the program consists of 3 ages in terms of basketball. That would be the 17 under group, the 15 under group, and the 13 under group. Also, we try to encourage females to be a part of our program. We have had some success with bringing females into the program. Not as much success as we'd like to have in terms of consistency, but it's open. In fact, we've had a couple of young ladies who've played since our inception with the team. So we do have, and we encourage females to be a part of our program. But actually, the Annapolis Arts, Sports, and Leadership Academy is more than basketball. Like I said, basketball is the hook, but we have other components as well. For example, we have a leadership component, we have an arts component, and we have a parent component as well. And Ms. Bias will talk about some of that, but while we're focusing on basketball this time, let me talk just a little bit more about the basketball piece. The basketball league itself will begin June the 16th. For those who may be interested in signing up, there is a fee of $275 per team.
Per team, not individuals, per team.
If it's an individual who'd like to sign up so that they can be assigned to a team, that cost is $30 per individual. And as a contact number, you can contact myself at 443-926-3311 or LESLIENSTANTON@hotmail.com. Those are contact numbers.
We'll come back to that a little bit later, so you can repeat that number and as well as your email address. Okay. You mentioned the hook, because everybody loves basketball.
Yes.
But in order to participate in the basketball league, they have to go through some classes, I understand.
That's correct.
So do you want to tell us about what programming, what courses the students have to, or the youth have to participate in?
Okay, so the leadership component has a variety of things involved. So there are leadership classes, and then we also have other components. So one year we did reading. We plan to bring that back again this year because we found out a lot of the students are below reading grade. So we're bringing that back this year, and we're also bringing in financial literacy this year. So those will be the 2 components. As far as the leadership component, we'll bring in guest speakers from different fields to come in and speak with the youth at each of the sessions. And then we also have something for the parents. So since the parents are here for the games, we created a parent university. So we'll do a survey, determine what it is they want, and we'll bring in speakers for them as well.
So while the kids are in the workshops, the parents are also in workshops?
They can, if they would like to participate, yes.
Okay, and then after all of the workshops, then they get to participate in the basketball league?
Well, actually, just the reverse, because, for example,
okay.
the games are played on Thursday evenings and Saturday mornings. After a game, let's take Thursday evening. The game started at 6:30 on Thursday evening, 6:30, 7:30, and 8:30. Following the 6:30 game, those teams that participate in the 6:30 game then have to go into the leadership component of our program, where they will listen, as Ms. Bias pointed out, they will listen to a speaker who could talk about any number of subjects. We bring people in who may talk about any number of subjects. It could be a police officer, it could be a fireman, it could be a teacher, any number of fields. We bring people in to talk about leadership, how they possibly got to where they got in regards to education, and just sharing some values as relates to life. There's also an art component as well. That is, there may be some youngsters who are interested in singing or in dancing or in acting, and we try to attract someone who has some knowledge or experience in those respective professions, and those children or youngsters who are interested, they very well may be able to attend classes as relates to that respective area that they're interested in, be it singing, be it dancing, be it acting, whatever the case may be.
I can't say how important it is for young people to see good role models, and especially career-based role models, so that they can also see themselves in those positions. How about the league, the teams? Does a community have to have a team? How are the teams formed? Do they have to be part of a team in order to come to the program?
Well, this will be our 4th year in existence, and a lot of the teams are already, themselves are already composed. That is, we have a number of coaches who coach X number of youngsters for X number of years. So they kind of come with ready-made teams. They generally don't come from the same community. However, there's some instances where a team may come from Newtown 20, the bulk of their players. We had a team, for example, last year that came from Freetown, the Boys and Girls Club in Freetown. So the vast majority, if not all of their players, lived in the community of Freetown. So there are some instances where some of the teams have youngsters who live, for the most part, in the same community with one another. However, there are instances where youngsters simply live in different communities, but they have come together to play on their particular coach, so they kind of comprise that team, knowing that they live in different areas of the city or the county.
How many teams do you generally have competing?
To start a league, we have to have at least 4 teams. Generally, what we average is 6 teams per league.
Okay, and per league meaning per age
Per
bracket?
age, that's correct.
Okay, so you have as many as 18 teams
We have.
running at the same
We've grown.
time.
When we started, every year we've grown to include more teams. The 17 and under group, last year we had 4 teams. The 15 and under group, we had 6 teams, and I think the 12 and under, we may have had 8. But that we always fill the younger groups up faster, generally speaking.
Well, that's awesome. Are there opportunities for sponsorships of individual youth
Absolutely.
and or teams?
By all means. For example, you mentioned the name of the league, the Wiley H. Bates League, and it's named after Mr. Wiley H. Bates, who actually provided the seed money for Bates High School, the former Bates High School. And the Bates Legacy Center has been one of our sponsors since our inception, and they continue to sponsor, the program with a donation. So yes, we do. We look for sponsors. We need sponsors. We do. Excellent question.
You also have partners. You have sponsors, but you have partners. We're here at the Pitt Moyer Rec Center, which is a city facility, and I understand we're a partner in this venture also.
Yes, you are. Very, very much so. The Pitt Moyer Center has been gracious enough to collaborate with us since our inception. They have a wonderful facility here. They have indoor courts and they have outdoor courts, and they have a number of classrooms that we utilize. So they have been generous enough to collaborate with us to allow us to utilize the courts indoor, the courts outdoor, and the classrooms where we hold our leadership sessions, the parent university sessions, and the art sessions. So they've been a most gracious partner since we've been involved with our program.
Well, as a member of the council, I am pleased to hear that we are reaching out to the community.
Yes, you are.
And embracing these partnerships.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have been. You most definitely should be pleased with the effort of the Pitt Moyer Center, from its leadership down to those who work with us on a daily basis when we have to come in here and have to have access to the respective rooms, had to have the courts cleaned off, had to have the table set up. They've just been a very willing and gracious partner. It's just been a really excellent collaboration.
Well, I'm a big advocate for our employees, so I'm not surprised to hear that. But maybe we should call in our Director of Recreation and Parks, Mr. Archie Trader, and let him share some of his feelings about the program. Thank you.
Fresh legs, fresh heart. Got a little bump on it. As we're here at the Pip Moyer Center, I hope he's got dribble-itis. He's coming out of that corner. He's doing the thing, though. He said, I'm going to take it to the cup. Oh, he wants his buckets. He's looking for it.
Well, we've been joined by Archie Trader, who's our director for the Department of Recreation and Parks here in the city. Welcome, Archie.
Thank you.
I understand we have a partnership with the Annapolis Art, Sports, and Leadership Academy. Tell us about the partnership.
It's a wonderful partnership. I think the Leadership Academy does a great job in helping our youth acquire leadership skills and enjoy the game of basketball.
And we're pulling kids who normally would not get to utilize our rec center?
Yes, I think the low economic disadvantaged groups are targeted in this particular program, but I'm sure it's open to any youth that would like to participate.
We talked a little bit about the teams. Do you see them using our building and kind of appreciating our recreation center here?
There's not a day that goes by where I hear someone say, I've never been here before. Mm-hmm. I never used this building before. And once they see it, once they experience it, they are impressed. And I see the participants of the Leadership Academy program using our facility in the future. And in fact, they play a lot of games inside. Mm-hmm. They do a lot of their workshops inside, so they really enjoy it.
Well, that's good to hear, because we need to make sure that this facility remains a community asset.
You know, Sheila, if you don't mind my jumping in at this
Please.
point, this is the 4th year since our inception, and we would not have been as successful as we have been without the collaboration between this particular facility, happens to be this facility, but the city and the academy. It's an excellent facility. They have allowed us use of the courts inside, use of the courts outside. We use various classrooms throughout the building for the arts component, for the leadership component, for the parent component, and they've been most receptive to the things that we've asked to utilize. So it's been an excellent collaboration. And as Archie pointed out, a number of the young people, I think or at least our goal is to help them to have just a memorable summer activity, something positive in their life, what they can do. They can get a piece of some of the leadership. We hope that they learn from the leadership piece. They can get something from that. Obviously, just the physical, the athletic piece in terms of the basketball piece, that, you know, playing together with teammates, and then the art component and the parents as well. So we're hoping that they have something that they can speak on during the course of the summer that was enjoyable to them. And it wouldn't be possible without this collaboration between the City of Annapolis, the Rec Center, Pip Moyer Center in this particular case, and our program. So like I said, it's just great when two entities can come together and partner for the positive, and the community benefits from it. And that's been the case as it relates to our program in the City of Annapolis, in this particular case, Recreation and Parks, under the direction of Mr. Trader.
Well, and it sounds like, from what I gather with the programming, the kids are getting experiences and even skills that they can take on into the future with them. Not just something for the summer, but these leadership skills and the connections to the arts and, of course, the sports. They, you know, that will be with them forever.
That's a good point, Sheila, because taboo are the times when a basketball league is facilitated autonomously by itself. You don't have a quality program unless you have life skills or components, educational components, quality of life components that these children can take with them for the rest of their life.
Absolutely.
For example, there's a financial literacy piece that we're adding this year, as well as a reading literacy piece, as we have found that a number of the youngsters are below reading level, and we are trying to incorporate something in our program that can help them raise their reading level during the course of the summer. As you know, I mean, being a former teacher, that's where you, quite frankly, that's where a lot of children who are behind actually learn and pick up, if you will, their grade level, their skills during the course of the summer, during summer school. So, you know, hopefully that will be able to add an experience that will enhance and improve their academics as they move back into school during the fall.
Absolutely. And we realize that sometimes, and since our summer has been expanded from the middle of June until after Labor Day now, the kids are out for a longer period of time, and they do lose some of what they've learned. So, you know, they have to start a little further behind in September to catch up to their level. So any enforcement that they get during the summer will only help them when fall comes around.
That's true. And something that's oftentimes overlooked in today's world is the necessity of having programs that help to promote socialization or good social skills. Because of, you know, today's technology, the electronics, you see just thousands, if not millions, of young people just consistently into themselves and what's in front of them. And that really diminishes their ability to enhance or develop their social skills. That's one piece. The other piece, though, is that I've found, in my experience, in terms of work with young people, and Archie can attest to this, and you can as well, we simply didn't have those devices, so we were forced to develop our social skills by interacting with one another. Yes, we had disagreements, but once we got over the disagreement, then we were back playing with one another 2 hours later or the next day. So we had enhanced social skills. We were forced, if you will, to be able to interact with one another on a positive level. So that's one thing that we think that our young people get out of coming together, doing some of the work together, to socialize with one another in a very positive atmosphere and attitude. And if you look around, obviously they can't see there, but if you, those who are familiar with the Pip Moyer Center, it's just a very good-looking building. It's well kept. It's a positive, and that has a lot to do with it. It's a very positive attitude. When the young people come here, they think that, you know, they're being treated special because they get to play on the courts where the, you know, the big guys play. Now they get to play on those courts, or they get to come inside and play in a real nice facility. And some of their experiences aren't necessarily so pleasant. So when they have the opportunity to share in a very pleasant, physically speaking, experience, then that's something that they can really appreciate.
And that is our goal. And Archie will attest to this, that we want this to be a community center, not just for the wealthy, but for every segment of our community. You know, this is a community asset, and we want everyone to feel that this is their rec center. Yes. And we try very hard, Archie, it's, you know, tribute to you, that this place is maintained at a very high level, because we want everybody to feel that this is a special place, because it is.
That's right.
So tell us, when is your program exactly? It starts
June the 16th, and it runs for 6 weeks.
Okay, so June 16th, the day after they get out of school.
That's right. That's
they
Saturday.
can be in a workshop and on a basketball
That's
league.
true. That's true.
Okay.
The games are played Thursday evenings and Saturday mornings.
Okay,
And
so
it runs for 6 weeks.
Thursday evening and Saturday morning.
That's correct.
And until August,
I mean, it depends, and the reason why it depends is because we may have rain dates, or it may get hot, and we may have to push the schedule back. It just depends, really, in terms. Generally, we try to end up the last week of July, no later than the first week of August.
Okay.
We once again, depending upon rescheduling, if there's some kind of inclement weather, too much heat, or if it's just, you know, rain, for whatever reasons may be, we can't play outside. We don't have the courts inside to utilize, and that happens, so we have to reschedule those games.
Okay.
So we do try to end no later than the first. We really don't want to go into the second week of August, but generally the first week of August is generally when we round up.
Okay, so it's a nice block of 6 weeks.
Yes.
That parents can count on their kids being in a very constructive, very educational, informative, athletic program here at Pip Moyer. And if you have a team, and I heard you say Freetown's team participated. So it's not just for Annapolis communities, it's all of Anne Arundel County?
Correct. We've expanded it. The focus, the bulk, if you will, the majority of our young people do actually come from the Annapolis area. But we've expanded it, and we have allowed teams from throughout the county to participate. There's been a team from Freetown and a team from the northern part of the county and a team from the southern part of the county. Out of the 16 teams that we had last year, we had maybe 3 or 4 outside of Annapolis. But the majority come from Annapolis.
Well, I'm going to make a commitment because I'm going to talk about for a moment the cost.
Okay.
$30 for an individual to participate, but if they're already part of a team, it's $275.
For that team, that's
For
correct.
that team. So I will sponsor a team from the Newtown community in my ward.
Fantastic.
So I'll leave it up to you to figure out where the team is and who they are, but I will sponsor the team.
Sounds great to me.
Okay.
And you talk to Ms. Bias about that because Ms. Bias is sort of a business person. You know,
Okay, I'll get
she
with her.
keeps it all together.
Okay, I got it.
Thank you.
And so again, would you repeat the phone number
I sure will.
that they can call to register, and then your email address?
Okay, I'll start with my phone number. And that phone number will be 443-926-3311. The email address is LESLINSTANTON@hotmail.com.
And I hope we'll be able to maybe scroll that across the bottom of the screen so that folks can reach out to you and be in touch.
Well, I just have to sort of add this little tidbit. When I was younger, I had a young man who was actually younger than me, and he played in my summer league program, where I actually was a summer league counselor, and that young man happened to be Archie Trader.
Small world, isn't it?
I'm telling
Small
you.
world.
So he's gone on to do great things. We're real proud
It
of
is.
Archie.
Yeah.
And Leslie continues to give back to the community in a grassroots way, in a fundamental way. And I also want to say that this league is competitive. And there are certain segments of our community that need that competition because they don't have the safety nets in life to teach them in other ways to be competitive, to work hard, to understand what it means to win, but also can learn to lose and prepare yourself to come back again. And this is why basketball is so important in our neighborhood, is because it gives a metaphorical experience about real life situations, and it must continue. And thanks to Leslie, he's keeping it going.
Well, we know that it's going for one more year and probably many years into the future. I want to say thank you, Leslie, for bringing this program to our attention. Thank you, Archie, for reaching out
Welcome.
to make sure that our community is welcome into our facility.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I would really be remiss if I didn't actually mention my son, Darius, who actually was the originator of this particular program, and he got this idea from a program I started back in 1988, with very, very similar in terms of how the program was assembled. You could play basketball, but you had to sit on a hill, and you had to listen to speakers in order for you to participate in the basketball game. You just couldn't come play basketball. That was a part of it. But you had to come, and we would bring in speakers. So as a result, Darius has actually restarted this program. And actually, Darius is, if you will, the president of the organization, so I have to give him his kudos.
All right, so kudos to Darius. This is the Stanton and Stanton organization here, and it's all good. So thank you very much, gentlemen, and we'll thank Ms. Bias for joining us on this segment. And this is Alderwoman Finlayson signing off.